Alright, we're going to play Zan, Tunnel Web Explorer. 5 and a 4/3. When it enters Rampant Growth, it has In Web for 3, which is return a tapped creature, and then this just goes into play for 2 less mana. This is exceptionally good on turn 2, and that is with Llanowar Elves exclusively when it comes to Standard. So 1 into 3 into, and then ideally some kind of 5 is the far and away the best thing you can do in a deck like this, and there's just only one way to do it, unfortunately. Molt Tender and Pollinator can not do this. There's no Prismatic Vista fetch land kind of thing for this, and there's nothing for this except, ooh, is there like Memnite? Do we have Memnite Ornithopter? I didn't even look. Okay, this would die. It would die immediately, so that doesn't work. Yeah, there's just no way to get those to work, but they work on turn 3, right? You can tap a land to this thing on turn 3, and then still have 3 mana for this, and then this just taps itself to do that. So they still work there. Ideally, not involving combat is kind of the thing with those, whereas if your 1-drop dies, then you don't have a creature to, do the thing. But if you're doing it on turn 3, you can also do it with a 2-drop all the same at that point, and that is far and away the most average outcome with this commander. And I think it's okay on turn 3. I think that's okay, right? I mean, casting Cultivate on turn 3 is not as crazy as turn 2, but it's still fine, I suppose. There's a lot of room in a mono-green deck like this to not play a bunch of ramp spells, because you have one in the command zone, and after the first time you cast it, it slowly turns into like a mono-green Golos at home, and that's kind of okay. This effect is exceptionally powerful, and I've played mono-green Golos on on paper, and with the World Tree as your lands that you get all the time, so you just can activate Golos. But I've played I've played so many variants of Golos that I recognize this ability as very good. Like, there's times where you get a basic with Golos, right? Golos is banned in normal EDH, a different format, I know, but I think this effect is actually fine, right? And it's kind of cool to play a Pauper commander. I think that's pretty neat. Obviously, your deck can't beat Pauper. But Up the Beanstalk works with this, which is very interesting. I don't know if playing Beanstalk before doing the Llanowar Elves in-web thing is right, ever. You're probably just not casting this over this. But, hey, I never really I give this many chances to thrive, because most decks aren't going to get away with something like this, I feel. But I do see this card from time to time still, even in decks where they'll have like 5 cards that work with it. There are some interesting lands. There's like Crawling Barrens was something I was ahead in here for a second, but I don't know. I have Archduous Charm. I have triple green cards. I don't really see myself as just sinking a bunch of mana into Crawling Barrens, but who knows. But yeah, let's see what Rampant Growth looks like in the command zone. In Standard, at least. I don't think... In Historic Brawl, you have a ton of cards. Honestly, you're almost guaranteed to play this on turn 2 every game. And that's pretty nice, but that's not the same as Azusa, I feel, which is doing something somewhat similar. And Azusa has a lot of power behind its effect, whereas just Rampant Growth doesn't necessarily do the same thing in that regard. I mean, you could, I guess, play, what is it, Loot? You could play Loot in that, with that line of... Oh, that's not how you spell Loot at all, is it? No, it's not. Oh, I have the filter on there. Yeah, like, Loot is kind of the Azusa of Standard. I remember I played this in Standard and activated it like 2 times because it kept dying, and I whiffed both times. It's like unbelievable. But Loot might just be better than this, but I don't know. I'm gonna play some Pauper. Let's do it. Normally Rivers of Buke's not a big deal in Standard. I want to say hello twice. Interesting. When this leaves the battlefield, make a food token. Very interesting. Alright, look at us go. Look at us do the thing. By all means, opponent. Kill my commander. I don't know what else would make sense other than like casting their commander. Okay. Sure, that's what they chose to do. So, I mean, there must be some kind of removal spell. I don't know what else we're thinking about here. But suppose this is the best idea. Yeah. Does this stop my opponent from swinging? Nope. Not really. Okay, they just didn't sacrifice the food token. Interesting. Alright, I automatically lose to a removal spell, so there's nothing I can do. I just like immediately lose to it. And last turn they were thinking about something, so it's painfully obvious it's a removal spell. Yep, they would have played this pre-combat to give it counters, so there's a removal spell there. Huge problem for us, I'm not gonna lie. Huge problem. So let's play this and Llanowar Elves? Does playing Llanowar Elves matter? No, not really. I'm gonna do it anyways. And then we're gonna hide. So I have... Ooh, no, not quite. Too many creatures get tapped. I think. Alright, they choose to do it right now. Let's block here, here, here. Let's keep the real one. No, the real one dying is irrelevant. Let's just do that. And then... Actually, wait, what if I just did this? Yeah, what if I did that? Okay, not quite at all what I was expecting as the card my opponent was going to do there. There is a removal spell in my opponent's hand. Like, there just is. So, Craterhoof taps all those. We have 4 attackers, and they get plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They get 7, so 28 plus 32, 33, 34. Lethal, if they kill the 5, these all get 7, so this is 30. Still lethal. Through Shoot the Sheriff or something equivalent. It looks like they just... Well, again, if they had a removal spell, that wasn't enough. But, yeah, the casting the commander... They thought on that one turn forever, and then you just cast this. And then they thought again and cast this post-combat, which doesn't make sense. So there's definitely a removal spell. And, yeah, they could eat the food here, but that's not enough. And killing one creature and double blocking is not enough either. Sweet. I'm going to try to mulligan this on the draw with a 1-drop. It's the 2 1-drops we would rather not have, but the ones we got. We'll take what we get. We play... Ooh. It doesn't quite matter, so I'll just play this one. It doesn't matter too much. Either way, it's always a turn 3 commander. Like, even if they kill one of them, it's just the same thing, so... Okay, what does this actually do? Combat on your turn. You loot if you have something with stuff. Alright. You can just see the insane difference between these two and Laner Elves here. It's just absolutely insane. What? Choose basic land. Okay. Swing. Do it. Swing. Yeah. Alright, I don't lose to a counter spell. I don't even have to play my commander here. I can pick that up, do that. Boom, boom, boom. I probably should. Of all the things that I can do, that might be the best one to do. Oh, wait a minute. We can just swing, though? No, no, no. We should actually play this and then lose to negate. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Alright, they don't have negate, so everything's fine. This way, my commander just gives that haste and whenever that comes up. I'm not really interested in milling with this right now, but maybe I could have. Maybe that was actually right. 5, 6... Yeah, okay. It would have enabled... Oh, but this has ward. Okay, so I wouldn't have been able to do what I want, though. But I could have cast Ujin next turn if I had milled a card here. And who knows, maybe that was the right thing to do. We're taking a slower approach now. Oh, it can target anything. Alright, I didn't know that. So... green. Don't tap Molt Tender, because it doesn't matter. Yeah, it just does not matter. Let's play you. I will always swing with this. This helps me pay for ward on Ujin, if that's what I end up doing, and it's looking like that is what is going to happen. 6, 7, 8, 9. Ujin's not even like the end of the universe here, unfortunately. It's still really good, though. Oh, I mean, it can be really good. Okay, I don't lose to Spell Pierce. That's ideal. They only swing with that, huh? Is it me, or is that just weird? Okay, I don't think I missed lethal with the Critter Hoof there, but maybe I did. Let's play this. Pay 2. I have to pay in a way that taps all my stuff. That's annoying. So maybe I don't do that. Alright, I'm going to take this out, because I don't want to do that. And do this. Oh, love to see that. Love to see that. Sure. Okay, so now Ujin must die. Probably. I don't know if they expect another colorless card. I don't have a lot. But it is drawing 2 cards a turn and gaining 3 life. Alright. Looks like we're not going to have Crater Hoof here. Oh, they didn't kill my commander? What? Okay. Okay. I mean, it's all about that last mana. I didn't have it. Okay, so I win. I think. Play this for another creature. Pretty sure I win here. Nice. Well, we have Lanorels. The rest of the hand maybe a little weird. We'll see. Again, we have another card that's like just better than my commander to just do something with. So we're playing around Wash Away. We have PTSD. Although I played into Spell Pierce though, so. That is a card, sure. All right. You. So 5. Lose that. What if I just full retailed it? Yeah, why not? It's kind of mana neutral because I'd pick this up, but then I still can't like deploy the Poison Dart Frog and this, so it's the same without my opponent knowing that this is in my hand. The value. No, I'm just gonna... We're playing this. I could swing. Should I swing? Sure, yeah, I can redeploy my commander pretty easily. I'm okay with this. This is effectively, Binding the Old Gods. When it kills something. It's just like better than Binding because it costs 3. Alright, so you have to cast... Yep, there it is. No surprise there, I suppose. Now you have to cast a 2. This is scary. This is a lot of damage. We like damage here. Let's name... anything. And then you. And now we're in the you must have River's Rebuke kind of department. It's like just River's Rebuke. Yep, pretty much. I don't think Frogifies do it here. Straight to combat. Interesting. Okay. Let's go straight to combat. Go straight to combat. Aetherize, attacking creatures. There is nothing I can do about that. To my hand they go. Let's play... I don't really need Beanstalk. I like mana. Yeah, more mana is fine. Can I plot this? It's 4? So... You? Okay. Kind of meh, but... More mana just lets me survive and stuff. It's hard to find turns to, like, build an engine, like, up the Beanstalk and stuff. It's just, like, hard to do that when I'm trying to kill my opponent before they just win by casting things. What does that do? Enters counters, upkeep, counters, remove it, draw. Sure, so it's a little bit of card draw there. Get in there for 2. This is inside combat. Okay. I'm not gonna do anything with that. Okay, let's play you. Yep. This is a card my opponent does not want to see resolve. Alright, that's a good sign that it did resolve. Let's go straight to combat. Swing here. There is some kind of spell, because there's no combat nonsense. I will play the thing I miss the least. Actually, we could just play this. It does draw a card. I'd rather plot this, though, and then play these. My opponent has perfect information, though. Well, so be it. I'm a mono green deck. There are no surprises. And this also prevents my opponent... If they have to leave up mana for whatever that is for the rest of the game, I am completely fine with that. Does that work? It does, yeah. X for 2, sure. Of course it works, it just worked here. Actually, it's the only thing they've done. The only thing they've done is that. Of course it works. There's just X spells. Still leaving up this counterspell, love to see it. If they're locked under this much mana with a counterspell, I feel like I'm just winning. Sure. I would counter one of these. I would not counter this here. But that's what they did. Let's play you? Sure. Yep. Oh, that's why. Because they have infinite counter spells. Silly me. Let's play you. Must answer threat. Yep. I like that. And then this thing. Let's go to combat first. Let's go to combat first. Let's see how they deal with this. I'm not going to make a giant goofy token, and I'm not concerned about the amount of mana my opponent has, extra treasure tokens or whatever to me. I'm already presenting a massive issue, so... I don't need this to be a 12-12. Isn't that a legendary? Oh, it makes non-legendaries? Oh, sure. Alright, they're doing stuff. They're doing the thing. They've done more with this than I've ever thought possible. Exclusively with X spells, mind you, so you can choose how much. Oh, hey, a Death Touch creature. Look at that. Alright, out of gas. All in. They're not even trying to be cute with anything. They're just presenting the cards in play. I lost my mana generation inside of combat. I can double that to a lot. Oh wait, I can double it here. I can double it here. So tap that in web here. This just gives me more mana to play with, and pretty, yeah, I was about to say, it's pretty easy to redeploy the land anywhere else. Not a big deal there. Plant, worm, hydra, hydra. Alright, my opponent has a... that thing in 3 turns. I have a must-answer threat in play. Mm-hmm. Yep, no surprise there. Okay, must answer threat number 2. I can pick up the Ouroboros with my commanders in web. Didn't actually think of that. Frogifies are like just not an issue when you have that ability, I guess. Is this a human? Ugh. Cavern Souls, please. Them doing nothing is hilarious. Alright, so let's play... We're gonna play it on... Warrior? Because I don't care if my commander gets countered. And let's swing. I don't know what card would change my attack decision. Wait, what? Cassiche? Okay. Very interesting. So they get another thing, but the Hydra doesn't lose its counters. It's also in a few turns, it's not just right now. They haven't even gotten the first spell with this yet, I don't think they have. Takes quite a while for that to start doing something. Alright, so they... Short, nope. We got second draw 3 thing later. I think this is the most I've ever seen this do. And so far I haven't really been concerned with any of its stuff yet. Oh, -5. That's toxic. When creature becomes tapped or is dealt damage, destroy it. That is hilariously annoying. That's actually one of the more efficient things against that. Wow. Well done. Alright, we can redeploy this. Is that the right thing to do? Yeah, I think infinite scaling is a good idea. Oh, I can also play this, huh? Let's try to go to combat first, because that doesn't matter. Okay, it worked. And now I can swing with you. And I will. I don't care if it dies. In fact, I hope it does. It actually does. Maybe. Oh. Dang it. Opponent thought. They decided to think. Tragic. Okay, send this out. More threats, more problems. I didn't play that first before this would trigger because I don't want to get hit by like an unsummon or something. And again, this doesn't need counters on it with the Ouroboros. You got rid of Opt? What do you mean? Isn't Opt like the thing here? River's Rebuke would be ideal, I'm sure. Although it makes all of your Frogifies really weird. Cast spells of Zil, they have Flash. So far, that has would not fundamentally change much here. I am going to go straight to combat. Or I could play this now, but again, the stats don't matter. No, we're just going to play this. We're just going to put it in play. I don't care if there's an unsummon. My opponent has way more problems than dealing with the Ouroboros. So... my main issue is just River's Rebuke anyways. When this becomes tapped... Alright, so that just can't swing. You can, and you... Okay, yeah. I mean, my opponent is doing everything they want to, and they have all the time in the world. I mean, they saw over a third of their deck. They're doing all the stuff, but, like, this is just a... I tried to play this. It is so difficult. I mean, it's kind of completely impossible in Historic Brawl because the game is over by the time you get to the first spell that you cast for free. But in Standard, my opponent knows they have this showing up. They know this is going to show up. They know this is showing... Like, the value is there. It's happening. The card draw. But you have to cast spells to trigger this in the first place. So a lot of the cards you copy are just copy enablers, right? They're not, like, the swingy, giant, scary cards. And then the other half of your deck has to be, like... I don't even really know. I can't imagine counterspells are too popular in this strategy because you can't suspend them. I have not played... let's play you. Come on. You can do it. I haven't played, whatchamacallit. Felithar in Standard. So, World Wagon, right? Yep. Actually, well, let's, why are we doing that? Yeah, we should do this. Stats. My opponent is obligated to play their commander, but if they don't, we're also happy about that, so. I like this line. That is... What? Oh, right. My opponent is Felithar. Almost Forgore. Okay. Palaka Worm. Oh, I love it. I love how this is a rare, too. Look at that. Pretty sure it's an uncommon in 90% of Magic's history, but... It started as a rare. It was a rare in 2019, apparently. You eat that food. You eat that food. I like this style of Felithar. It's kind of neat. Not sacking creatures is, like, the most satisfying thing. It's pretty cool. How close is my opponent to being just completely not alive? I think they're almost just dead next turn? They just straight up took that. Alright, so that becomes 14. Yeah, now they're just not a conscious entity next turn if I cast this. They can do all the damage in the world to me. I think I'm fine. Well, no, they can't. They can do up to 32 damage to me. And then I'm fine. Any more than that, then I am obviously not fine. Okay, that was not tapped out for. I don't know why. That is swinging into the Great Worm. Interesting. Wait, what? But your commander. What are you... Okay. Guess they... Oh, they just wanted to have the largest creature and all the issues. Oh, also, apparently there's a reanimate spell, just like the other 55 players. Okay, so I can cast this, swing for 3 creatures, 15, 25, 30, 18, my opponent's alive, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. But they have to block with this thing. So this is the right idea. They have to block with the Scourge. Which is what I want to see here. And obviously all the other blocks are just losing creatures as they block. No, no, you should keep the... No, you need to put that there. It's... Well, you could kill something else. Okay, yeah, you can just kill something else instead if you want. It's all the same functionally. Actually, the worm, maybe not the best idea to kill because it can come back. Alright, you need a board wipe. Are those tokens? Is it creature tokens? Creature tokens. Alright, the treasures don't count. That's not it. Alright. They can reanimate their commander with this last card. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the command zone, so... I love all these little interactions. It's kind of neat. Yeah, they're just super, super doomed. Ugh, so annoying. First time I've seen that commander. Very strange one. I like the Bloodghast idea. I actually haven't even played Vivian Reed today. There's a lot of cards in this deck I have not played. Kind of weird. Wait, what did they take? I wasn't looking. Ouroboros. Ouroboros. Can't even say it. Vivian can just get that right back, though. It's not. That's not the concerning portion and aspect of this game here. What on earth is that? Getting your upkeep, discard a card, then create a treasure token. Okay, that is a card. Yes, sir. We shall play this and demand stuff. Opponent needs a removal spell. Every deck has had a removal spell, so... They get rid of Stitcher's Wings. Alright. That works, I guess. They didn't find a removal spell, but they had it anyways. Do I block this? I think I do. It does involve my face losing life quickly, and I don't want that necessarily. But there doesn't appear to be a removal spell. But appearances can be deceiving. Looks like there is a removal spell, of course. Can't have anything. Amazing. I can gamble with the adventure here. Doesn't seem like a reliable idea, though. Is this unblockable? Of course it is. Okay, that is a card that I really should play. And let's get rid of my opponent's commander. Maybe that matters. So, Palaka Worm is just a card that my opponent knows about. Let's just play it. I think I can swing for 3. We are able to deal significant damage here, I think. Like, if it's a damage race, I think we're fine, kind of. Yeah, we are kind of winning a damage race. Not too great. Hey, we got Sire of 7 Spaghetti. Let's just cast this. And we can swing here. Because now I'm the one presenting problems. And 7 damage will matter. I don't have like an Alpha Strike or anything like that, so... The ward paying 7 is also not free. Well, that's a lot of haste that didn't get into the red zone. So... straight to combat. That's 6. Sure. So now this has hexproof because they can't pay for the ward. I can pick this up and recommit the spell. I think that's the best thing to do here. I don't think this Hero's Bane is doing anything, so... I'm not convinced I need blockers that are not the Sire of 7 Deaths, obviously. Let's get Overlord. I thought I already played a land. Did I not already? I thought I already had played a land there. Oh, that was weird. They are in top deck mode, so... I'm at 22. They only have 1 card in their hand. I don't believe them flipping their commander gets them there, so... That doesn't do it, but it gets more triggers, sure. They should be putting it all on this, shouldn't they? Because I can just block the 9 too. That makes an 8/8, but it doesn't get into the commit, like the combat. Doesn't get into the red zone. Oh, I can trade. Yeah, I can kill the shark too. Yeah. Get schmeeded. Look at that. Alright. So, this commander, I think, is better than Sandman, in my opinion, because the Sandman strategy of reanimating your commander, the one that's equal to your land count, the one we just played the other day. This one is not trying to recur itself over and over and have this giant scaling threat that is difficult to deal with, like forever or permanently deal with. There are plenty of ways to permanently deal with it, though, like Frogifies and stuff. You can also simply kill it over and over. Whereas this thing, you can't really Frogify my creatures because I can just pick them up within web, assuming I can swing it with the thing or have it get tapped in some way. So it plays around Frogifies pretty well, and casting ramp spells out of the command zone, I just like this more than the other one. You just have a bunch of giant questions you keep asking your opponent until they eventually just can't answer one of them, and then that one just probably wins the game. And I think that's just slightly better. This is way more like, you know, traditional ramp into big stuff than the other commander where you just keep trying to recur your commander as the threat itself. I really just think this is better. You also have a vastly wider range of angles you're attacking your opponent with as like a mono green thing as opposed to the other one. So I really like this. Picking up Llanowar Elves felt a little bit worse than I was expecting it to when playing this on turn 2 with Llanowar Elves, but still usually always worth it, right? It's still just kind of the best thing this commander is doing, and nothing's even close to that thing. Up the Beanstalk and other cards similar to... Well, it's not really anything similar to it, but Up the Beanstalk is awkward, and this happens almost every single time, where when I play this, let's say I didn't have Llanowar Elves or whatever, and I play this on turn 2 with nothing else to do, it feels bad, because then I'm probably not playing this turn 3, and then that's like really awkward. And if I'm playing this on turn 2 or 3, then I don't really have time to play this. I could play it first, but that's just incredibly awkward, especially when my hand might already have a bunch of stuff that's castable as like repeating threats. It's hard to find a turn to play this, because usually the turn I do play this, it's like the only thing I can do, because otherwise, like, I play this and I have 3 more mana left and I can't play even something like this or like that. So it's just awkward. But I don't know, sometimes maybe you just don't have to play it. I think trying to cast this before all of my Beanstalk trigger cards had actually cost me 1 or 2 games today. I was like, oh, I gotta play this, and then I start playing my giant things that are gonna win the game. But instead of, you know, winning the game with the win the game cards, I'm like, oh, I'll just take a turn off so all of my cards now draw a card. So that's not normally a thing with this card, I feel. But this case it was, and it was incredibly annoying, and it happened all the time. So just something to think about there. Pivoting off of this because you literally do not have the time to cast it is something to pay more attention to, maybe, if you're used to just windmill slamming it. Especially in some matchups where you don't need more things to find. If you're already casting things that would trigger this, eventually one of those you would assume is going to get you there. But either way, it's just kind of awkward. This does kind of fold to, like, control decks, I would say. Counter spells are not a big thing in Standard. I keep saying that, and that hasn't changed over the course of a day here. But the removal spam just laughs in the face of strategies like this. I only saw, I think, 1 board wipe today. I think there was only 1 sweeper. Whether that's because I wasn't presenting enough things at once to ever get someone to cast it, or I just never bumped anyone that had any other than 1 player. I don't know, but sweepers, I'm going to imagine, are a bit of a pain here to deal with a deck like this, even if you can repeatedly cast your effective Golos out of the command zone over and over. The giant things in question are a little weird. I mean, you always have Craterhoof as like your out. I do really like Vivian Reed. There's just plenty of things Vivian Reed does that I'm just a fan of. It has a fairly relevant ultimate, kind of. The Vigilance is the big one to me, so I can swing and also, you know, block. But if that's the thing you're already doing, then, like, oh, this is all... The ultimate is basically you win all kind of combat encounters in the red zone that involve your opponent's creatures trying to block and removal and all that jazz, combat tricks. So, like, that's just what we're doing. But yeah, the Vigilance is just satisfying. I just like that idea. I wouldn't say Trample is too relevant, because everything's indestructible. You're just going to win eventually with all your creatures that your opponent can't kill. So it doesn't... It just closes the game out faster, I guess. Pretty nice commander, though. I mean, Planeswalker. But yeah, and this is okay. It's okay. This is pretty nice. This is okay. It's not insane. When it comes to all the... Actually, let's look. I don't even know. Even though I just looked. What are the green... Like, the serious green commanders in Standard... I don't even really like Tifa because there are so many ways to deal with this. But Bristly Bill is alright. This has been decent, although this is not mono green. I've seen Loot a few times. This has not been very impressive to me. Neither is Kona in Standard, honestly. I have not seen this in Standard. I've seen this one other time. I suppose you could actually just play Vivian Reed. That'd be kind of neat. Yeah, there's not a lot of mono green commanders, really, at all. But I would say, for the most part, they're kind of doing things somewhat different. I've even seen this. I actually lost to this in Standard. I didn't think there were enough Death Touch creatures to pull that off, but apparently there are. Finn had gotten me once in Standard there. But yeah, it's alright. It's alright. I mean, it's a common. What do what can you expect? It did way better than most common commanders would do, which is a good sign. It's got like it has a piece of text that is connected to one of the strongest commanders of all time in the form of Golos, and again, even in with having nothing else to do, it's still just really good. And it's in green, right? If this effect was in red, which I think it actually is, there's like a 3-mana commander that you get a mountain when you cast it. As long as it doesn't die, you get to keep the mountain. But I think when it dies, you do lose the mountain. But that's not necessarily the same as like Koth or Liliana of the Dark Realms or whatever, the squirrel one that gets swamps. But yep, if you like mono green and you don't really want to think about stuff, you just cast the green ramp spell. There you go. Well, let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.